Okay, so January the 16th, I went to get assistance for my light bill. On January the 3rd, no, January the 7th, but the paper's dated January 3rd. I faxed that information to um, that department. Coincidentally, what I had it saved on is now missing because my documents come up missing. What they do is use someone very close to me to remove stuff. I don't know if they paying them to get this stuff to see what's on the information that I have, but that is now missing. So that's to give off the premises that I'm forgetful. But I know where I put everything. It's just that somebody is moving it and then they'll put it back, possibly put it back when they're done with it. But so that was sent on, that was dated for the 3rd, but it was faxed on the 7th via my fax confirmation. And the person there said they didn't get it, and if they did, they shredded it. So it's a possibility they may not have gotten it because I believe my fax transmissions are with, being interfered with. Um, my phone calls are being intercepted. I know my phone calls are being intercepted because I tested it. I'm not gonna give you the method I tested it, but another time they messed up where um, I was calling a number on this document, and I guess they didn't get to the phone quick enough, or it was after hours, and the voicemail picked up, and it was not the voicemail to the name that was on that paper. So that's another way I know how my phone calls are being intercepted. So these people are being told to be intentionally rude to me. They're being told to be intentionally rude to me so it appears that I'm being impulsive or not easy to get along with. But really, they're being rude or giving me a hard time. So on the 16th, I had to go back up there for my appointment that was at 9:20. Now, this was for a cutoff notice. My cutoff notice was for the 15th. That's the date that it had to be paid by. And I get an appointment for the 16th. You see how these days are lining up at 9:20. So when I make it, after I leave it from up there, they didn't take the information because the last four of my social was showing and the rest of the information was redacted. So I leave. When I get to the post office, because I had something I was trying to do at the post office, I get a call from them saying that they couldn't take it and I had to come bring the stuff back up there. So I go back up there and sign something. So I had to sign a Title VI form and dated it for that date. All rights reserved. That was to make it seem like I came up there on the 16th and then had my paperwork filled out when I did have it on the 7th. But now my copies have mysteriously disappeared. But I do still have confirmation of that fax to that fax number. So, anyway, that's neither here or there. But so that's happened. And you would say, what did you do to have these people doing this shit? I really honestly don't know. This is like some really fucked up shit, and no one should have to go through this. It's not right in any aspect, and it ain't cool. But that's neither here or there. So, anyway, I go back up there. And then when I make it back home, then another department calls me, like Department of Human Services called me for a phone interview for application. They get out information. They didn't need anything. And they didn't need anything. And I asked if I have to submit any paperwork. She said no. So no paperwork was submitted. Then I get something in the mail saying I have an appointment on the 23rd of January. So I sent it back and I'm like, who's that I talked to on the 16th at a 543 number? She said her name was Miss Williams. So then they sent something saying I missed my appointment on the 24th. So they had, like, they're keeping up with my date. So really what this is a form of harassment. And I sent it back and it's like, quit sending me notices. This is a form of harassment. It's not funny at all. Um, everything that I seen is actually being intercepted. I don't think it's making it to its destination. It's being intercepted. It's not making it to its destination. The only way it's going to make it to its destination if I physically take it to its destination, because if I send it fax or via mail, it's being intercepted for whatever reason. Um, then also, I believe that there is some type of hidden cameras within this house. That sounds paranoid, but damn it, it's very well possible. My computer screen is mirrored. So everything that I do on here, it's being mirrored. My phone is hacked. Um, for what reason? Again, I don't know why any of this is being done. I've been blacklisted. I'm not able to get a job. I am getting unemployment at the present time, but I've also been blacklisted. I haven't been able to get a job. I went on an interview on my birthday, coincidentally, again on my birthday, to some type of like marketing place. And as soon as I go in there, it's someone that looks familiar. I don't know where I know this lady from, but I know she looks familiar. And then there's another girl with her phone up pointed at me. Like, first of all, I ain't consenting for you to put me any type of where, so why are you videotaping me? So I moved and put my chair in the corner. Because the way she had her phone was like this. It went down. You videotaping me. So I moved out of your view. Because I wasn't going to say, hey, can you put your phone down? Or whatever. And then I'm looking confrontational. And that's the look that they're going for. And I'm not confrontational at all. So that has transpired. Another thing that is going on is with my child support cases. None of them were being collected on at all. And again, they were saying they wouldn't get my notice. They said I didn't get a notice, and I sent certified that somebody signed for. How is that possible? Who signed for it if you didn't get it? So, but that's neither here or there. Lies were deployed against me. People were hired to spread lies about me to protect the asset. I know why, but lies were deployed against me, or I mean, I've been lied on, and that's the worst thing that you can do to somebody is fucking lie on them, especially when it's not true. And then the shit that you said, like, did any of this shit transpire before a specific date mark? It didn't happen until after the date mark. You could say somebody like lost their shit and they contributed. No, I ain't contributed to nothing. This is stuff that was all like orchestrated. Strictly orchestrated. It ain't got nothing to do with minding your business or none of that. This is just some fucked up people in the world. Please excuse my language, but that's how I feel right now. So that's what happened. I'm not playing the victim. I'm not saying that I was like Miss Goody Two Shoe or whatever. One of my kids' daddy said that you've tried to do everything right in life, but well, look where it has gotten you or whatever. Something else he said to a certain extent. March the 12th, I don't know what's supposed to happen on that date. I'm speaking positively. He said everything would all be over then. What will be over on that day? You don't, I mean, you pay money to ruin somebody's reputation. Like, how do you sleep at night? Honestly, I guess very well, I guess, but that's crazy as hell. So that was done. But also, then it's like it's a psychological perspective in here as well. The psychological techniques are meant to make you look like you're fucking paranoid, the way that it's done. Because what is happening is that you're being monitored, like your phone is tapped, you're bugged and tapped and all of this. So they know, or like they're on your computer and they can hear a phone conversation, so they know the dates to use. They're not gonna say specifically that, hey, I know you do this. They'll use a date. Like my mom today said, yeah, somebody was coming down here on the 8th. I had something to do on the 8th. Then she said something about on the 15th. I got something to do on the 15th. So let's let me know that my phone is tapped. Like, but what I don't understand is like, why are you still using a third person narrative? And I know, although I have not consented to you listening to my phone calls, that you're listening to my damn phone calls. Why don't you just say, yeah, I know you got to do this on the 8th? Because it makes you feel powerful that you're invading my privacy. I understand God knows everything that you do. You can't hide anything that you do from God, but God did not intend for you to invade on your neighbor's privacy. I don't know where in the Bible it says that he does, because he doesn't. He's the all-knowing God because he has the power to know. He's everywhere at all times. But ain't no human supposed to have that power. You're not supposed to be spying on somebody else in what they doing and then divulging that information to somebody else. But the oxymoron in this situation is you're telling me to mind my business, but you're watching my every move. Do you not see how that's a catch-22? Why are you watching me? Um, as far as my attitude, if everywhere you go, someone is talking about something that you did last night in your house, or calling you with stupid stuff, saying there's a white car parked across the street, or stuff like that all day, doing shit to agitate you, try to agitate you until you desensitize yourself. What type of attitude are you gonna have? You can't say what you would do until you actually get into this situation. I don't think some of you would have actually lasted this long, considering the shit that I've had to put up with. And it has nothing to do with being a pushover, because what you're trying to get done, they're not going to do. No matter how or which way you approach it, it's still not going to get done, because these people have been told not to give you what you're asking for. It ain't no pushover. It's just that they're not going to give you what you asking for. Had I been a pushover, I wouldn't be in this situation, because a pushover just going to do what you tell them to do anyway and not say anything. It's just because I said something and it pissed somebody off. Thus, why I'm in this situation. I mean, that only makes logical sense. A pushover is still gonna be in a position being pushed over, but somebody that's sitting there, and this is not karma. This is jealousy from what the spot that I was in. You wanted my spot, or you wanted me to suffer for whatever reason. That's strictly what it was. It ain't karma, because I've never did anything this extreme to hurt anybody. Or if I felt like I hurt someone, I've always apologized for that. So what has happened, this whole little group had got around and just sat down and told everything about this person for a fee. That is what happened. And that's basically what happened. Now, would I have done that? No. Why do you need this information? And then, especially to be compensated for it, then no, that's not something I can do. Now, the people that don't know me or have no attachment to me, I am in no way knocking you for doing anything that you do, because you don't know me. So I don't expect you to have any type of feelings about me, because you don't know me. You're not gonna have any. So I totally get that. But the closest is kind of like, wow, like, damn, wow, you'll do anything for some money. But like I said, that's neither here or there. But that's why I'm in this situation. It ain't because of me not minding my business. It's not because of this karma. It's just that it's some evil ass people in the world, or like, they're doing their job of what they're requested to do. And even though it may not be morally right, that's their job. So, which put me in this situation. But a high percentage of what is going on is psychological, and it's not any type of disorder. It's not. I don't have a disorder. From the events that have happened in my life, and from the events that have happened in my life, it would be very easy to put me in that category. But me, just so happily, no, that's not the case. The way that I have always got through anything was through my faith system, and prayer. Prayer is not going to work for everybody, but God is the powerful of all men. My heavenly Father, let me use that. My heavenly Father is in control of all things, and will get you through any situation if you truly trust. He does not want you to suffer, especially for somebody else's personal gain. I refuse to believe that. He doesn't want you to suffer. There's a limit to forgiveness. He asks you to forgive, but then there's a limit to forgiveness on certain things. There's certain things that you have to cut out as far as forgiveness. So, in the aspect of forgiveness in your doings, and then you also have to know, you have to look at the things that you're saying. You want me to forgive you, but you're not going to forgive me. And then watch out for a narcissist. A narcissist will have you thinking that you do everything wrong. That's narcissistic. A narcissistic individual, sociopath. Those are very dangerous characteristics. They don't ever do anything wrong. They will have you thinking you did something wrong. Like, I had a narcissistic boyfriend. Like, he'll have you, or try to have you, apologizing for some stuff that he did wrong. And I'm like, hold up, man. No, dog, you the one that was in the wrong. And a narcissistic personality disorder is a personality disorder with a long-term pattern of abnormal behavior characterized by agitated feelings of self-importance, excessive need for admiration, and lack of empathy. Like, this motherfucker gonna tell me, who wouldn't want to have a baby by me? And I'm like, what? Excessive need for admiration, disregard for others, feeling an ability to counter an incredible and a sense of entitlement. Do I feel entitled? How could I feel like, nah, that's something else they said I had, was a narcissistic personality. How the fuck would I feel entitled? I'm not entitled to anything. I have 5 children. Single mom of 5. And no, I didn't feel like I was entitled to anything. Like, anything that I needed, I know I had to work for. I didn't expect to get public assistance. I don't feel like I'm entitled to that. So, like, I had a visitor the other day said somebody was cutting out food stamps or something. And I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, my class of people is not the majority that receives that on a statistical level. So I'm like, okay, I can't get it, then I just can't get it. I should be able to get it within the guidelines, but if, they're not going to give it to me within this state, then they're just not going to give it to me. I'm not going to stress about it, because, again, that's like a privilege. Even though I'm meeting the guidelines, if I make a complaint, it's not going to get where it's supposed to go, because my fucking fax transmission are being intercepted. So it's not going to make it where it's supposed to go. But that's neither here or there. So, like, you can sit there and talk about that. For one, I do not feel like a sense of entitlement. If I could work, then I would work. If you're not working and doing something that you love, then that's taken away from you're going to prison. You're not going to work. If you're working and doing something that you love, you never work a day in your life. But you're being blocked from working in the field that you have experience in to having to do something else. How is that right? You're depriving me of life and liberty, which that's in my one of my inalienable rights given to me by God, not a statute or ordinance or a constitutional right. That's given to me by God. A workman is worthy of his hire. And if I've been able to successfully execute these things before now, what transpired? That's because someone has defamated my character or assassinated my character. It has nothing to do with me. If I had done anything, became an alcoholic or something else, so forth, and had to go through some type of, yeah, then that would be on me. But no, I haven't did anything. So that is what it is. But back to my story. I also requested itemized bill from my energy company. This was on January the 8th. You see how I'm keeping up with these dates? Somebody that's forgetful ain't gonna remember all these dates. So January the 8th, 2019, I asked for this. They said I haven't been, what happened to me in 25 days. Today is the 28th. I still have not received these documents. I'm not indicating they weren't sent. That could possibly have been intercepted. I don't know. I haven't received it yet. I'll follow up on it tomorrow. I did send an email, but I'll follow up on it tomorrow. The whole, like, this whole program is kind of like crazy. It went into overt status. But what I'm noticing is each problem that occurred in any situation that I was in was already pre-planned. So any person within their right mind would react the way that I reacted to the situation that you put me in. Because for one, it was unethical. Like, why would you do that? You knew it was against the rules, and you knew I was gonna react like that because you knew I knew it was against the rules. So why would you do it? Because that was the reaction you were seeking to get. Cold game, dirty game. This really is like, you know what I'm saying, makes you look at humanity a whole totally different way. Like, the person does not give a about you. It's just like you're an asset, plus or minus. Like, I was talking to this person on the screen. It was like, yeah, you're either asset or a liability. So I was an asset. I'm an asset, and then you're blocking me from doing. You're interfering with me working and blocking me from doing any type of work. But I'm not a threat. I mean, I would have to be, because you're not letting me do the things that I know how to do. You want me to do something that I have no experience in instead of doing what I know how to do without any interference, without you interfering with what I'm doing. But like I said, a narcissistic personality disorder. And I read the definition. This is off of Google, my favorite site to use. And then here are all the traits. It's a lack of empathy, your agitated sense of self-importance, feelings of entitlement, selfishness in relationships, enviness and suspiciousness and suspicion of others' motivations, a need for excessive praise and attention, arrogant and judgmental in attitude. All they were trying to say, I was narcissistic. Excessive praise and attention. I don't want attention. Like right now, you know what I'm saying? I don't need attention. Never been arrogant. I'm cocky. I am cocky. And I'm not usually judgmental. what I'm going to say is this. Someone is not going to constantly sit there and be ridiculed. Oh, you're not going to sit there and constantly be ridiculed. You're going to leave or like not go around that person. So if I'm not coming around, it's because you are using what they call directed conversation, which is a form of what is actually managed aggression. What that is, like I said, is that you have knowledge of what this person's doing because you have bugs or their phone is have some type of eavesdropping software downloaded on it where you can hear their conversations. So the playing field is not actually even. Sitting around talking about what they do to you all day, it's not going to get you anywhere. You got to try to find and stay positive. It's kind of hard sometimes if you have the person living with you that's actually doing the crap too. So that can make it difficult because you would stay in you're in the room and it appears that you're antisocial, but you're not being antisocial. You just don't want to be around dumb shit all day. Like, you don't. And then they'll come back. It's like, and then it's so funny that they will come to where you are and set up a skit like I'm on Mad TV or some shit. And it's like, it's crazy. The shit is like, sometimes it's funny. I'm not gonna lie. It's funny because you'll never know what the hell they gonna say when they come back here, but it's like crazy. And then they just start off with a random conversation. But what fucks them up is when I walk off and I'm not sitting there listening to the skit. And then it's not like, you know what I'm saying, they'll come directly back here where I am. I got a trick for that the next time and get to talking. So I'm like, what the hell is this? But I gotta, like I said, I have a trick for that. Um But one thing I do know, like if you write something and it's done in deception, it's void. There's such thing as called entrapment by estoppel. These usually are in criminal proceedings. Again, this is for educational purposes. I'm not an attorney. This is just something I looked up. But entrapment is in criminal proceedings. But this is kind of criminal. So, entrapment by estoppel. It is an affirmative defense known as entrapment defense. Such defense is available when a government official has actively misled a defendant into a reasonable belief that his or her charged conduct is legal. It was another one like. It's another one. Let me look at my dictionary. This dictionary is so hard. Where is it? Oh, that's not what it was. It was a civil informant. C, informant. Where is it? I hate this dictionary. And gross. Gross. Here it is. Informant. Someone informs against another, especially one who is confidentially supplies information to the police about a crime, sometimes in exchange for a reward or special treatment. Citizen informant, a witness who, without expecting payment and with the public good in mind, comes forward and volunteers information to the police or other authorities. What is that? Informist, pauperous. Dang, what was I looking for? Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Interference. A conclusion reached by considering other facts and deducing a logical conclusion from them. Adverse interference. A detrimental conclusion drawn by the fact finder from a party's failure to produce evidence that is within the party's control. Some courts allow the inference only if the party's failure is attributable to bad faith. Defamation. Malicious or groundless harm to the reputation or good name of another by the making a false statement to a third person. If the alleged defamation involves a matter of public concern, the plaintiff is constitutionally required to prove both the statement falsity and the defendant's false. A false written or oral statement damages another's reputation. See libel. Defamation per se, a statement that is defamatory in itself and is not capable of an innocent meaning. Trade defamation, the damaging of a business by a false statement that tends to diminish the reputation of the business. Trade defamation may be trade libel if it is recorded, and trade slander if it's not. Defamatory, of a statement or communication tending to harm a person's reputation by subjecting the person to public contempt, disgrace, or ridicule, or by adversely affecting the person's business. A statement that imputes a crime or official misconduct in public office to a person is likely to impair a person's ability to perform in an occupation, calling, or office, exposes the person to general hatred, contempt, or ridicule. Defamatory statement. A statement that tends to injure the reputation of a person referred to in it. The statement is likely to lower the person in estimation of reasonable people, and in particular to cause that person to be regarded with feelings of hatred, contempt, ridicule, fear, or dislike. Also term defamatory communication. I got trade. Yeah, I had trade defamation. What else am I looking for? Cyber stalking. The act of threatening, harassing, or annoying someone through multiple email messages as through the intent, especially with an intent of placing the recipient in fear that illegal acts or injury will be inflicted on the recipient or a member of the recipient family or household. Cyber theft, the act of using an online computer service such as one on the internet to steal someone else's property or to interfere with someone else's use of enjoyment of property. Example of cyber theft are hacking into a bank's computer records to wrongfully credit one account and debit another, and interfering with a copyright by wrongfully sending protected material over the internet. Cyber squatting, the act of reserving a domain name on the internet, especially a name that will be associated with a company's trademark, and then seeking to profit by selling or licensing the name to the company that has an interest in being identified with it. The practice was banned by federal law in 1999. Cyber law, the field of law dealing with the internet, incriminating cases, statutes, regulations, and disputes that affect people and businesses interacting through computers. Cyber law addresses issues of online speech and businesses that arise because of the nature of the medium, including intellectual property rights, free speech, privacy, e-commerce, and safety, as well as questions of jurisdiction, also termed cyberspace law. Cyberspiracy, trademarks, the act of registering a well-known name or mark, or one that is confusingly similar as a website domain. For the purpose of deriving revenue. One form of cyberspiracy is cyber squatting. Another is using a similar name or mark to mislead consumer. For example, on a site called Nike.com that sells Nike, that's with two E's, brand athletic shoes and sporting goods, would draw consumers away from the famous Nike brand. Ooh, I didn't even know this. Cyberbullying, the abuse, coercion, harassment, or threat of another person through electronic media such as computer websites, email, and text messages. Cyber law. What is it? Oh, this was in 1994. It's a field of dealing with the internet. Cyber stalking. I'm gonna have to file this very fast.